Peace. Thank y'all for tuning in to the Late Bloomer Show. If you don't know, I'm your host, Reveal the Law. Today is December 19th, 2023. Um, Today's mathematics is knowledge born. Born's knowledge at a cipher. Born's knowledge. Knowledge is infinite. Knowledge is the foundation of everything in existence. It's an accumulated body of facts. But to gain knowledge, you got to be able to observe, learn, and respect the subject at hand. Born means to be complete. Cipher is a person, place, or thing. So when you're making knowledge born, the knowledge has to be able to be applied and activated to that cipher for it to be knowledge. So that cipher, it has to have something to stand on. Peace. So today, NYC got some news. Governor Kathy Hochul signs bill to start commission on reparations in NYC. What do y'all think about that out there? You see, I believe this was earlier today or yesterday. Not sure, but they're looking super happy. You see the headline of the show. Can reparations help the Black community? I did some research, and one of the statistics I found interesting was that Black Americans spend around $835 billion a year. And I believe with 13% of the population, that number right there, 835,000, that's more money spent in certain third world countries. Our 13% spends more than certain countries in the world. I want to know what y'all think about that, man. Will reparations set us straight? Will we be out of debt, out of slavery due to reparations? What are the possibilities that could come from it? I'd like to know from y'all. Let me share a video with y'all. I'm not religious. I don't follow. I believe this guy's a pastor, but the topic we're speaking on, he touches on it.
We spend $54 million a year on hair.
Sorry for that. He's talking about us, the so-called Black Americans here in North America.
$54 million a year on hair. We spend $152 million a year on perfume. We spend $700 million a year. This is just Black people. $700 million a year on liquid soap. We are clean while living dirty. So you smell good, your hair looks good, your nails are good, you got brand new church clothes, and you got all of that with no insurance. You got all of that with no stocks. You got all of that with no investment portfolio, but you smell good. We just keep buying a bunch of crap.
What do y'all feel about that? Biggest consumers with the things we're buying aren't worth, the money we're paying for it. Uh, Let me show you this one article by what's her name? Vanessa Roberts. Why Black people are top consumers but lack wealth. Um, she reads, for the last 2 years, I witnessed dozens of families and individuals celebrate the most gratifying accomplishment of their lives, paying off their debt. I was a marketing copywriter for Ramsey Solutions, an influential personal finance company in Tennessee. I created content that made sales while improving our audience's lives. I even followed the financial principles myself and celebrated my own debt freedom in 2020 as a single Black woman with an immigrant background. Personal finance changed my life for the better and influenced the way I interact with marketing. That's why I bothered. That's why it bothered me to read that Black people are most likely to consume products that are financially behind white and Latino counterparts, according to research. While most Americans report feeling as though they live paycheck to paycheck, minorities are most likely to face ongoing wealth gaps compared to their white peers. In marketing, we, of course, want people to buy from us, but we also want our products and services to improve the lives of people who use them. But where does the financial discrepancy lie in Black community, and how can we as marketers better support one of our largest consumer populations? Black buying power. Black people are major consumers in the American economy and spend more than 1 trillion a year on goods and services. At 47 point million strong in the buying power that's on par with many countries' gross domestic products, African Americans continue to outpace spending nationally, said Cheryl Grace, Nielsen's Senior Vice President of Community Alliances and Consumer Engagement and co-creator of the BIS report in 2019. We dominate as consumers in beauty and personal care categories, a multi-billion-dollar industry, and make up 90% of the consumers in the ethnic hair care category. We are also 20% more likely than the total population to say they will pay extra for a product that is consistent with the image I want to convey, according to Nielsen's report. In short, our dollar matters. It's unfortunate, however, to see so many dollars exiting the black community only to leave us beautiful and broke. Why Black people trail their peers financially. The average white family has 8 times the wealth of the average Black family and 5 times the wealth of the typical Latino family, according to the Federal Reserve. Let's take a look at a couple of reasons why Black people are behind when it comes to financial development and building wealth. Lack of access to resources and financial education. Black people are more likely to face systematic financial challenges that limit their wealth building ability. Some examples include having fewer financial resources, less access to employer sponsored benefits, and greater income validity, volatility, volatility, TIAA study found. These challenges already limit financial advancement and are made worse by low financial literacy. Financial literacy isn't high amongst American adults in general. But in a study, Black people answered 38% of financial literacy questions correctly, and only 28% answered more than half correctly. Low financial literacy also influences buying and investing habits. Black people have a tendency to get rid of assets too early or not acquire them at all, according to a TIAA research study. They know us better than we know ourselves, y'all. These barriers hinder sound financial decision making as well as good financial management, expensive spending habits. The data shows that Black people like to shop, and there's nothing wrong with that. Never too much reliance on consuming products and services rather than producing them can hurt us more than help. Nielsen reported that 52% of Black people find in-store shopping relaxing compared to 26% of the total population. And about half of Black consumers say they enjoy wandering the stores looking for new interesting products. Currently, Black women trail behind Latino and white women in financial security, according to a research study by the Teachers Insurance and Annuity Association of America, TIAA. In their report, they found that 71% of Black women and 60% of Latino women had at least one expensive behavior in relation to the use of credit cards. Only 49% of white women had at least one expensive behavior. That's when discipline sets in. We need more financial discipline out here, including me. I'm not excluded. You know, the role of marketing in Black consumption practices. A Nielsen report stated that Black consumer spending is highly influenced by advertising. Black people reported being 42% more likely than the rest of the American population to respond to mobile ads. They're also more likely to respond to ads on television, radio, and the internet. So we're to the marketing companies, we're gold. We the ones who, you know, get it going. They without us, you know, we make the marketing. We buy into it. No pun intended. All right, let's go. This is good news for us in marketing because it means our ads are working. See? However, when we zoom out and look at the big picture of our impact on an already vulnerable community, we have to pause and analyze the full impact. Expensive cars, clothes, hair, jewelry, and vacations are perfectly fine products and services to market to the Black community. But if our marketing departments are targeting a community solely to buy their products without thinking of how they can serve that community, then we're doing more harm to our customers than good. Like many Black populations, Black people appreciate and almost demand to see themselves in marketing. But is our product or service helpful or hurting? Are we selling a false image of success? Hmm. You know, these influencers out here, man. What are they influencing specifically the Black community to do? Hmm. Something that makes us want to keep up with the Joneses rather than live meaningful and productive lives. As I shared earlier, we want people to buy our products and services, but we should also be concerned about the communities we are marketing to. You know, every so-called ghetto in America, you know you in the hood when what? You got a liquor store, Chinese restaurant, and now the Arab corner store, smoke shops. So how can we better support them as marketers? How can marketers, how marketers can help? As marketers, we don't have to stand idly by While we watch one of the main consumer populations in America struggle, we can we can do something. In fact, it's expected of us. Nielsen reported that 42% of Black adults expect brands they purchase from to support social issues. Buy from Gucci, Fendi, all these places. That's 16% higher than the total population. Wow. Here, so uh, are we living in delusion? We invest in we investing in these companies that don't give a damn about, you know, our well-being, you know, our communities, and you know, let's proceed. Here are just some ways we can support the financial advancement of Black people as marketers. Support and mentor Black business owners by nurturing up and coming business owners. You support the growth and expansion of Black owned products. That is important because it helps to balance the flow of money entering and leaving the Black community. It also creates more positive representation of Black entrepreneurs for the next generation to aspire to. Support the expansion of financial literacy resources in Black communities. Financial literacy is key to the advancement of Black community. By sponsoring financial li- by sponsoring school financial literacy and entrepreneurship programs in Black populated areas, you're helping to transform and uplift the Black community in a way that'll impact generations. Now, should we already be doing this ourselves? Because, you know, we shouldn't be waiting on no mystery God to come and save us. We should be working together, supporting each other. We ain't got no time to hate on each other, you know. As they say, should we be on code? Oppose systematic racism that causes financial challenges. Racism is malleable and doesn't always look as overt as it did during slavery or the Jim Crow era. Today, systematic racism affects Black people in many ways, including financially. Underfunded schools and lack of support for first generation college students hurts exposure to education that qualifies people for better paying jobs. Unfair hiring practices and poor employee benefits also negatively impact Black communities financially. By taking a stand, being aware of your marketing practices and supporting social causes that positively impact the Black community, you're helping to support one of the largest consumer bases in America in developing a better relationship between you and your customers. Beautifully written by Nessa Roberts. She's an award-winning journalist, copywriter, and editor. She has written for the U.S. Today Network, the Spruce Ramsey Solutions, Dave Ramsey Company, among other marketing and news organizations. Currently, she uses content to help consumer-centric brands hone their unique voice and connect with their audience. Originally from Trinidad and Tobago, Vanessa earned her BA in journalism from the University of Kentucky and resides in Nashville, Tennessee area. Yeah, she hit it right on the nose, man. She showed the problem as well as gave some solutions. What do y'all think about it? Mm, right. Yeah, so can reparations help the Black community? We are the biggest spenders here. Putting more money in our hand, what will it do? You know, check your man out all the way to the left. He's in a prayer stance or something. Like, and look who they got with him. You know something's up anytime you see Al. You ask me. Anytime you see Al Sharpton, something is up. But New York is the second state to do this. Let me show you another pic. This is when she first got elected in. Who's with her? That's Al. So is this a quid pro quo, as they say? You know, you tell your people, vote for me, or you know what I'm saying? And then I help you out in the long run by coming up with a commission to start the conversation about reparations. Not saying we're gonna get it, just a conversation. Which California was the first state to do it. They estimated in total, they did the math of what each person in California would get as a black person here in America, and I think the amount was 1.2 million for each person, and it's in between certain years that you got to qualify of being in California. So it doesn't mean just because you black you're gonna get the reparations. You got to qualify for it. The question is, will it help? Will it help us? What do y'all think? Um, let me see. According to McKinsey.com, serving the black consumer is a $3 billion opportunity. There's an article about that on McKinsey.com. Check it out if you can. I'm going to leave a link in the description box. Let me see. You know, on a positive note, uh, I never heard of this guy, but I ran past him today on YouTube. I just want to leave y'all with something. No, I think I'm a whole lot. Yeah, man, we got to get our minds right as a whole. You know, I'm not excluded. All of us as a whole. What is holding us back? Can money make a difference if our minds ain't right? Uh, we leave you with something from James Allen. He's the author of As a Man Thinketh. Have y'all read that book before? If not, it's a small book, about 30 pages. I've read it, hundreds of books, and I have to say that that is one of the most powerful books I ever read. If you haven't read it, go read it. Check it out. It won't hurt. A man sooner or later discovers that he is the master gardener of his soul, the director of his life. Us as black people, original people, nobody's coming to save us. We got to save ourselves. You can't help nobody else out until you help yourself. Us dwelling in other problems going on around us, I call them distractions, clouds of deception. We need to focus on us. Well, starting with inside our communities. You know, I know that due to gentrification. We're all scattered around, and it's hard to even have that concept of community when you know they say redlining is over, but it's the it's just in a different form now. They have the shelter system where they determine where you go, where you live at. So I'm sure that you know New York says it's a sanctuary city, but as you can see, or if you heard in the news that now they're giving the immigrants 60 days stay in the shelter. They got 60 days, then they can't stay there no more. You know, this is just being implemented. If you ask me, as the news coverage for the past months, as they were showing the immigrants coming in by the busloads. First it was, we all just say, oh, they coming from Mexico, they Mexican. Then you see they talking about Venezuelans and Ecuadorians. But I noticed soon as the news started showing dark-skinned migrants, so to speak, that's when the you know the fist started to come down. Oh, it's getting out of control. And I ain't gonna lie, me being a fellow New Yorker, Harlem, it's certain blocks now where it's just straight African, or look like I'm in Ecuador somewhere in certain parts of Queens. Um, yeah, New York is in a. It, they said it was a melting pot before this, and yeah, it's definitely changing. But I don't think the migrants are the problem. I think they're being scapegoated. It's always been an influx of immigrants. From my research, 1 million immigrants come to this country a year. So they just, I guess, taking the opportunity. Most of them, when they're interviewed, they seem like they're being invited. So what the real problem is the people that's calling the shots for this to happen. Why I think this is happening? I feel that the central banks all around the world, what they're doing, they're trying to break the middle class here in America. So, yeah, we might get some factory jobs back, right? But now they don't want to hear the average American talking about starting a union at this factory. They rather go with the migrant who is just happy to be here. He'll take the low paying wage, you know, and the big corporations, they stay afloat. They ain't got to work. They can underpay these dudes, and they ain't got they ain't gonna put up the same resistance that the average American would about, um, working wages and how they're treated at the jobs and stuff. So that's what I think is going on. Is that they want cheaper employees. They want cheaper employees. I can't be mad at the migrants for taking the opportunity to better their lives. But the ones, if y'all want to point a finger here at NYC, I'm not going to even say the mayor, Congress, all of them get the okays from the central banks. That's what you need to look into, is the central banks. How will they control? What do they run? What do they push the buttons on throughout the world? Wars just don't start because people don't like each other without the okay of the central banks. Fact check me if you want. But I want to know y'all thoughts on it. What y'all think? Can can reparations here in America help the Black community? And if so, how? If not, why? I'd like to hear y'all take. This is Reveal the Law, your host of the Late Bloomer Show. Appreciate you for being with me this long. You know, until we meet again, I'm out of here. Peace.